Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Peel Yourself Off the Super Bowl Matt Monday edition of the program. Jeff DeForest. We got Mike Lubitz, young Luca Benici Lubitz, very dissatisfied with the Patriots' performance yesterday. I don't know that he had any Patriot leanings. Patriotic leanings was a whole other subject for Super Bowl 60. We'll get into that a little bit. And I had kind of a funny incident with that actually was. I don't know that it was startling because I know where these guys were coming from, but did surprise me a little bit. The amount of impact that and we'll get into it. I want to save that a little bit because we want to talk about the game, and then there, a lot of other stuff going on. You had the Olympics, you had the Lindsey Vonn crash, which I happened to wake up just arbitrarily. This was Sunday morning, and I woke up just as this was happening. And of course, everybody has varying opinions. I don't know that everybody does, but many people have varying opinions about whether or not Lindsey Vonn should have even attempted to do this. It turned out, I guess, in the final analysis, Luby, that this had nothing to do with her torn ACL that she was competing with. She actually brushed a gate and got knocked off balance, ended up breaking her leg. It was hard to watch the way that they have to take the person off the hill there with the helicopter. It's not like they send the thing down like they're rescuing somebody at sea, and then they pull them up and they end up in the helicopter. This was kind of freaky, seeing a guy just holding on to a wrapped up, completely encased Lindsey Vonn and carting her off the track. Very, very, very tough to watch. And I find it difficult. I know they said there were some people that were upset about the whole idea that, oh, well, what's she doing? She shouldn't be there. She earned the right to be there. If she thought she could compete, she ran a practice run and finished third in terms of speed. So it wasn't as if that this was so much of an impediment. Remarkable, right? And normally, if a football player came back with a torn ACL and said, "I'm playing anyway, I don't care," people would be applauding the guy. No,
Like, wow, look at them.
uh,
I was on the other side of what you're saying. I was on the side of I thought it was ridiculous, but you're not wrong. Like in any other sport, we would have been hailing them. I don't know for
cheering.
the
Oh, can you believe this guy? What guts?
Olympics we did too,
And
like
she showed during the practice run that this wasn't enough of an impediment to keep her from actually performing at a decent level. If she had taken a bronze medal home in this event with the third fastest practice run, if that was the real thing, then everybody would have said, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable." So it turned out it was just arbitrarily another type of accident that took her out of the competition, and much was being said and written about that as well. But let's get to the game here. I would say this: it was more lopsided than I thought it was going to be in terms of the differential of effectiveness of play, both offensively and defensively. Seattle Seahawks up 12-0 in the fourth quarter, and the fourth quarter produced 30 points after you were watching what you thought was pretty much of a snooze fest, right? The rest of the way, as neither team was really doing much offensively. We did see Seattle move the ball. They settled for 4 field goals to get that 12-0 lead. They finally scored a touchdown, making it 19-0. And the 19-0 was far more indicative of the way the game was being contested, I thought, than any previous juncture, because it did appear that the New England Patriots were being badly outclassed. And some of the numbers would reflect that. 6 sacks of Drake Maye. I did hit my one prop bet. Well, I had suggested 3. The over on the anthem was blown. I was surprised about that. So we started out getting hit in the face with a loss right away, as this kid that sang the anthem somehow went under the 159 and a hook that was posted as the length of time that the anthem would take. The flyover, you need to get the information on the timing of the flyover, because as soon as
yep,
the flyover comes, it's
yep,
all over. They just stop
a
singing and they
raffle,
stop
yep.
counting. Did hit the coin flip with heads, so it was even money going into the game. And my one prop bet that I suggested, Luby, which the professor disputed, remember we were talking about this on Friday,
Yeah.
was 2 picks for Drake Maye, which he did end up throwing 2 picks.
Yes, he did. He did throw a second pick.
Threw the second pick and turned out to be a pick 6, which if the game wasn't
Oh,
on
they called
ice
that a
already.
pick? Not a fumble. They called that a pick.
Yeah, the pick 6 late in the game, and he threw another bizarre pick on when he sailed one over the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
It looked like the
So
Patriots
they
were
called that
mounting a little
a
bit
pick.
of a charge. Yeah. Plus, he had the fumble on top of that. So he ended up with what, 3 turnovers in that game, and for the postseason, after a remarkable year where you thought, wow, this guy's the second coming of Tom Brady. He's got a little bit of Josh Allen in him. Has a good head on his shoulders. As the Patriots went 14-3, you can't dispute what he did during the regular season. I thought he was great. I watched him many
It
different
was
balls.
good. He was really good, and he got the job done. But what's interesting is, and I'm from Brian will say, well, he faced the 4 toughest defenses. Isn't that what the playoffs are? Like, isn't that what we've noticed is the good defenses arise in the playoffs? And isn't that the thing that what makes great quarterbacks is I don't know if they make putty, but they are able to move the ball and score against good defenses. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say he was exposed per se, because look, he's a 23-year-old second-year guy. Like, I think the playoffs showed what he is. He's a good player. This MVP
He wasn't very good in the playoffs, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. The MVP stuff was a little overblown. It was just a year of sucky quarterback play, so you didn't have anyone else to put up against.
I would say he was a legitimate MVP contender off of his performance in the regular season. I wouldn't question that.
No, he was, but again,
Postseason, if that was all you saw, then you saw a guy that I mean, Tua would look better than Drake Maye did, and they put him on the bench. He had a horrible postseason. You look at the numbers in the postseason. He was sacked 21 times, something like that. 21 sacks, 8 turnovers, 4 picks, 4 fumbles.
Yes.
In 4 postseason games. So that's not a
good.
win.
I mean, you can say whatever you want. He was not good.
No.
Like, and the defense was in his face, and the defense got after him. Okay, that's what's going to happen in the playoffs. That's literally why, like, they always say defense wins championships, because you see the playoffs, the defenses usually rise up. Even like, look, remember that Patriots Rams Super Bowl a few years ago? It was supposed to be an offensive slugfest, and the Rams couldn't get a touchdown. Like, defenses wake up and play their best in the play, like that Colts Super Bowl, where the defense wasn't good all year and the offense was with Peyton Manning, and they rode the defense to Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl. Like, that's what you see in the playoffs, and he struggled mightily every single game. And again, he should. He's a second-year guy. It's what I said. Darnold wasn't good. Darnold was bad. Darnold got hit a lot, but there were plenty of plays where he didn't get hit, had guys open, and the ghost thing you could see. You're like, oh my God, is he seeing ghosts? Because he was just sailing it. So he wasn't good, but he was just a little bit better than Drake Maye. He did it's funny, he did the Dan Marino shimmy. They kept talking about it, and he didn't do anything, but he would avoid a sack just enough to make just enough of a play to get them in scoring range. Now, he was horrendous in the red zone, but he got them into the scoring range, and Drake Maye couldn't. And that was what I thought would be the difference. And the Seattle Seahawks defense was just...
They were great.
Mothering. Like, Patriots defense was good, but it was what you saw playoffs. Patriots defense good. Seahawks defense was freaking insane. Like, they didn't
destroy the left side of the Patriots offensive line. Sorry, Lubie. Yeah, but I mean, the left side of the offensive line for the Patriots was just massively. I don't know that you would call it exposed. They were dismantled in this game. So if it was a one-game aberration, they had a really good season, and that was a big part of the reason that the Patriots were there in the first place. They had that number 4 overall pick on the offensive line, Campbell, and then their other 2 guys, the guard Wilson and Bradley, the center. They got crushed like a grape in that game. So Seattle wins it. Congratulations. 60-1 shot before the season started. If you were one of those people that puts the $100 on, you picked up 6 times. If you were just betting your home team, very unlikely pairing for the Super Bowl. I was happy to see new blood. It was a little anticlimactic because the game wasn't the wildly entertaining circus-like game that we'd seen earlier in the postseason when the NFL really stood out, and you ask yourself, well, what sport can really compete with this? We had a wild World Series. It was absolutely fantastic, back and forth between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, and you thought, wow, this is upset city, and that always makes it even more interesting. And then the climactic game, the deciding game, turned out to be a thriller in Manila type of ball game itself. We had tremendous play. I thought this was one of the more entertaining NFL seasons I've ever watched. Watching a lot of NFL action, took up the habit of actually going to a sports bar pretty much on a weekly basis to watch all of the games kind of happening simultaneously. It was a practice that I'd gone away from. I don't know that I was ever into that because I was usually at these games and having to take them there. But great entertaining season from the standpoint of action and play on the field. And unfortunately, the Super Bowl, for the casual fan that just tuned in, probably was looking at that and saying, "What the f is the big deal?" I
was
mean,
boring. Yes, I
yeah,
was with a bunch of people who aren't football fans, and
they're
they're
like,
like, "What a
"What is
boring
this
game."
garbage?"
You're like, "Yeah, it's not great."
Unbelievable. All right, so I was looking forward to the halftime show. Being a huge music fan, and I don't know. I mean, I have my particular taste in music, but in general, I like all music. People always say maybe country I shy away from, but I even like certain times I'll listen to a country song and say, "Wow, those guys are really good. They know what
Yeah.
they're doing. They know how to play their instruments. They know how to harmonize. They know how to work the lyrics." From a standpoint of what the foundation of it is, you have a lot of actual rock roots sometimes in country music. I don't mind when they go into ballads and things like that. It's fine, but not necessarily my favorite genre. But in this case, I've never seen Bad Bunny perform really at any length. I wouldn't know any of his songs. I do know that he won all these Grammys. I happen to be tuned into that. And he had been very popular before that. He seems to be wildly embraced or strongly embraced. I'm using the word wildly a lot tonight. Strongly embraced by other artists, including Lady Gaga, who participated in the halftime show. Now, if you had said that, what was that known that she was going to be there? I don't think so.
No, no, no. My wife, her friends were like, I don't know if they love her, but they like her. She's like iconic, so everyone has some
She's
respect for
hard
her.
not to like, as we discovered, Luby, when we saw her at that press conference.
Yeah, she's classic. So they were like, she held that well. No, there was no idea that she would be. I mean, she did a whole song, and then she like was with him. Like, there was no. I mean, and she is a bigger. I mean, he's the biggest artist in the world, but she's a bigger name. Like, she's known by. She's been around a lot longer. Like, for her to come in and be featured is pretty cool. Like that.
I was stunned. I thought, wow. I mean, even though I have no idea what this guy is singing about, I don't care. I can kind of guess that. I mean, it looked festive to me, and I thought it was really well produced. There were a lot of production value type of components in there that I don't know if they were as evident if you were at the stadium, but certainly as a TV production of a performance. What was wrong with that, Louis? And now I figured you'd be a fan because you have Latin blood in you and Latin blood in your household.
Yes.
But
Well, I've liked reggaeton since it started. Um, so it was right in my wheelhouse. And my wife loves Bad Bunny. Like,
yeah,
they and her friends are Puerto Rican, so it was a party. Like, they danced the whole time. We didn't like. I sat down a little bit with Luca, and then I realized, okay, I'm the only one sitting down. Like, everyone was just up dancing.
Luca was probably dancing.
He was. Oh no, he loves Bad Bunny. Like, it's
Yeah,
funny. Like, anytime you play Bad Bunny, he starts smiling and like moving. Like, no, it's
you'd
that's
figure Bugs would be more his bag than
no,
Bad.
he loves bad over Bugs.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, not every halftime show is for everyone. That it's okay to have that sentiment. I didn't understand the anger and the vitriol. Like,
people just
that I didn't get.
apparently rejected it based on the fact that they're Trump supporters. This is what happened with me. Now I'm with, I guess it was three guys, and they were appalled at the whole idea. They were trying to figure out their strategy for what they were going to do during the halftime show with Bad Bunny because they were going to boycott watching it. All right. And I'm thinking, I really want to see this. I don't care about you guys, but if you guys change the channel and put on like Kid Rock, a guy who was singing about, it's not statutory, it's mandatory. I mean, how hypocritical and ironic was it that this was the choice of the alternate, clean, virtuous, network performance that they put on? Whoever put up the money for this garbage, I don't want to call it garbage, but because I didn't see it, I'm not a big Kid Rock fan. I'm always amazed. There are certain people that make it big that you're wondering talent to job. How the hell did they get there? And for my money, anyway, I don't know. I mean, if you like Kid Rock, great, but
No, who
that's
likes Kid
nothing
Rock?
for me.
No one likes Kid
Uh, just seems to be some guy that happened to get lucky because I'm sure it was dedication and hard work or whatever, but it doesn't really carry that banner very well for all the people that were screaming about the skier saying that, hey, listen, I don't know that I really feel all that proud about the America I'm representing right now. They don't have any problem having Kid Rock be their musical spokesman.
Yeah, like, come on. They talk out of two sides of their mouth. They're the ones that literally bash America all the time, and then are mad that other people like are honest about America. Like,
Yeah.
pick your lane. Get out. The president every day is bashing America. Like, but we can't bash him. Like, go away. Like pick. I love America because of what America stands for. I don't love America because I've lied to myself that
No.
it's the greatest and all these other things. It's greatest because of that. And also, he's more American than most of our halftime performers. The Rolling Stones, not American. They're British. The Rihanna, and I love Rihanna, not American. She's from Barbados. Like,
Well, when was that a prerequisite, though?
it's not. No one's ever cared.
Yeah.
It's and again, how many English songs do you hear? You all there's everyone always does that where there's a song that you've known for 30 years. You're like, you dive in. Like, it could be in English, and I don't know what the hell they're saying. I love hip hop. Good luck guessing half of what is said in hip hop. Like, whatever the background of the artist, like, they just picked this time to be mad. That's my problem.
I really the uproar over this performance is absolutely incredible to me.
You can understand a word he said. The energy was there. I'm sorry.
I thought it was artistically very well done. I really did, and I knew nothing, had no preconceived notions about Bad Bunny performances. I sort of as an old geezer, you're surprised. I went, what is creating this level of popularity for this guy? And then I happen to be on the side of his political opinions, so naturally that was something that would not alienate me as it did these other guys who I don't even know that they probably have no idea what this guy has said. I mean, I doubt that they watch the Grammys, but they literally got up out of the room where we're watching this game on this absolutely pristine big screen TV where you felt like you were inside the stadium and went into another room to watch a small, tiny TV. I mean, why not just go outside on the deck there and smoke a joint? That would have been better. But yeah, that really stunned me. How completely opposed to even the slightest notion to just check it out and see what was going on from an entertainment standpoint. Why would this guy create such an automatic feeling of disgust and distaste about the fact that he was doing a halftime show? And
He
then,
wants to be American too, and they're getting in. We're getting into this place where there's only certain people are allowed to be considered American, which is literally anti-American. The point of America, unless you're Native American, is we're all immigrants and we're all grateful. Again, this was both parties. Reagan, as horrible as he was as a president, he leaned into that. He was good with foreign affairs because he understood America was the beacon of life for the world because we accept it all. Like, that's what I don't get about any of this. Like, this is the stuff that the Republicans stood on more than even the Democrats. Like, it's just weird. It's not. And what was good about what he did, and I appreciate it actually, because Ken talked about this. I actually want him to lean into the politics like Lamar, but he said, screw it. I'm going to make it about Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico is the forgotten land of America. So I'm going to make it about my homeland. He didn't do any. He has tons of Trump songs, tons. Didn't do one of them. He has the dress stuff just to piss people off. Did not do the dress thing. Showing skin, that was a bet. Did not. All the stuff people were worried about him doing, he didn't do. He just did his high energy songs and the production actually was all there. Like, those little businesses he walked by were all real businesses he brought from Puerto Rico. The married couple really got married on stage.
That was cool.
Casita, that little house, they called it the Casita, because he's doing this tour where he's going everywhere but America because he doesn't want his fans to get iced. That Casitas, the Casita he's used on his tour, they brought it to the Super Bowl. Like, it was there. It wasn't AI. Like, in the world of AI, a guy who lives off of stuff like that didn't. It was all, except for when he got dropped through the roof. Yeah. Everything else was live there, which we've never seen in a Super Bowl. Like, he had all this pressure on him, the world hating him, and he did the
yeah, no, he held up well, man.
He ever could. Like, again, Kendrick Lamar's was pretty interesting because he did similar stuff where he brought a lot of people on.
You understood the Lamar thing far better than I did.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the politics.
I was like the other old geezers there.
It's fine.
Sort of like saying, what the hell was that?
You could have been like that with last night. You don't have to. Again, when the Who performed, I didn't watch because they bore me. But if you liked them, you're allowed to. You know, when U2 performed, I respect their talent. I'm not. I like some of their songs, but I don't know all their songs.
Off-key Roger Daltrey is what
you know. Even the Janet Jackson, I missed the nipple because I don't watch halftime shows. I usually get a drink. I usually go to the bathroom. I usually am on the patio talking. You know, like I watched.
I don't know how this could spark as much negativity as it did, and it was within seconds after the thing was over that. You're scrolling on some social media platforms and people are going nuts, berserk over this whole idea. It's like, what the hell? At halftime, like you said, Lubie, you're deciding whether or not you go back for another portion of nachos.
Yes, that's at least
Even
for
though,
me.
and you're trying to cover up the fact that maybe you dropped a meatball sandwich on the hostess.
Exactly.
Oh, geez, it left a stain. Uh, yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing that's going on. You're wondering if you have spots on your shirt from splattering. Well, we did have, and it's a food event also. The Super Bowl and Super
Mhm.
Bowl parties. I actually called a place. I was going to get a pizza and bring it to the little gathering I was going to, and so I'm thinking, okay, I'll call like a half hour before.
Nah.
And I mean, who would have thought it was going to take an hour to get a pizza?
See, I did. I'm scared. To me, that day is the Super Bowl of wings and pizza.
Super Bowl
So
of of
So
that kind
I
of thing.
literally in the morning, I'm like, I know we want pizza, babe, because we were either gonna do it at our house or last minute, no one could come, so we went to her friend's house, and I was like, okay, what do I do though? Because it's gonna be insane to get a pizza. And she's like, well, just order in the morning and tell them you want it at a certain time. And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah,
can
that
you
could work.
really do that? Because I worked at a pizza place, and I remember whenever people did that, we laughed at them. She was like, yes, you can do that. So I called the place and I changed the order 3 times because we shifted what we were going to do.
Right.
And they were great. I'll be honest. I'll name them Pasquale's. Like we love them over here. Like and then I did it early because I'm like, it's going to take 30 minutes. It's going to be late. It was there waiting for me when I
Oh,
got
yeah, wow,
at
okay.
5:30, which is close enough where you thought that's
Oh, you
when
always love that. Yeah,
busy.
that's a good call there. Pasquale's, I couldn't think of the name. I was actually gonna use that as an alternative to the place that I called, thinking maybe they could do it faster, but, it was too late. I had totally, misgauged that situation, and I have done that many times where you ask for an order to be ready at a certain time, and, almost always found the people to be extremely accommodating. In fact, many times I've found the order coming out at precisely the
Yep.
time that you were looking for, which it's a good job by these people. They had to be swamped, so it was understandable, but we
Yes.
went without that. Big culinary day there for the people on
Yep.
Super Bowl 60. All right, so everybody hit on their Kenneth Walker over prop bets. Right, he went way over his yard total. 135 rushing yards, 161 total in the game. He wins the MVP, which was the first time a running back had won the MVP
Jesus.
since Terrell Davis, 1998. Wow,
Yeah.
think about that. That's 28 years.
Yeah.
28 years since a
That's
running
crazy.
back won the MVP. So I thought I saw that prop in there. Was it something like 5-1, or was it even higher? Walker to win the MVP award. You couldn't really give it to Darnold, which would have been an automatic, and that was one of our little side ideas. I think the professor put this forward, saying, "Hey, since it's almost always the quarterback of the winning team that wins the MVP, if you wanted to dodge laying a big price on Seattle on the money line, go ahead and bet Darnold to be the MVP, which you were getting a little price, and that way you might be able to beat the system. But instead, you ended up getting effed because you won the game and you were right about the Seattle Seahawks, and you would have lost the bet because you put it all on Darnold to be the MVP. This Walker had a sensational game. Five 10-yard plus runs. He runs of 10 yards or more. 5 times he did that, including rattling off the very first one, which was one of those weird prop bets that we were looking at, Lubie, where you could speculate as to what was going to happen on the opening drive.
Yeah.
And remember, we were saying if a team goes 3 and out, which did the Patriots not go 3 and out, right? Zippity doo dah, right out the door.
I think so.
Their
Yeah.
opening drive, I think they
Yeah.
did. So everybody that laid out any kind of prop bet about an accomplishment, Stephon Diggs with a reception, or any of these other props that were there on the opening drive. Imagine, I mean, how many ways there are. I saw somebody post something up. A lot of people come to confessionals, degenerates, after the Super Bowl because it's the last football action of the season. I don't know. Are people just not betting basketball and college basketball and hockey and things like that, Louis? Or do you transition to that as you start to get the shakes after 2 days of not being in action? Since you did have football essentially every night of the week
Yeah.
going for the longest period of time. And
Yeah.
I'd have to say this, I've been doing this gambling show on NoFilter.net for the last year and change,
Yeah.
and we were almost exclusively talking about football games so far.
That's funny.
We have the professor. He gives out some college basketball, which I did watch a great college basketball game. I really enjoyed that UConn St. John's game Friday night. I don't know if you saw that, Libby.
Oh no, no.
Our man Rick Pitino going against Danny Hurley. Hurley's facial expressions during a ball game are hysterical, aren't they?
Well, because He's super
crazy,
bitter.
man. It's absolutely out of his mind, and
He's just bitter.
the way he's yelling at officials and the eyeballs that he makes. I mean, very Adam Gase esque. He does have a little Marty Feldman in him, also. And Patino, of course, is a classic with the suit on, looking
Yeah,
immaculate,
funny. Yeah.
and yet, I mean, very strong. They kind of literally strong armed their way to that victory over UConn, which UConn had only one loss on the season going to the Garden on Friday night, and St. John's, who early in the season, people were saying, "What the hell's going on here, Rick? I thought you got all of these guys in the transfer portal that were going to make a big difference," and they got tagged with 5 losses. But I believe they're now on an 8-game winning streak, including that victory over UConn. So that was
Nice.
good. But we hadn't been paying much attention to that, or the NBA,
Yeah.
or any of these other things. So is that going to be good enough to satisfy you degenerate addicts out there? Because there's no football to bet on. And when I was looking at the zillion ways now with these prop bets that there are to separate you from your money, I did see some confessionals, Lubie, which come around, it seems like, at the end of a football season, where people realize, you know what, I'm my own worst enemy. Because you just can't go with the simple look. I've been doing this to myself in horse racing forever. Never forget, I believe I couldn't have been more than 12, 13 years old when I read Henry Bombs Away Bombsy's book on handicapping, which was one of the few books I had actually read cover to cover, lifetime, and especially at that time. And he had this theory, but it just, and this predated exotics. It was mostly win, place, and show betting. You had a daily double, and there was not even the concept of the late daily double. Certainly, rolling daily doubles and pick threes weren't on the table. And this guy said that the only way that you can win at this game is to bet substantial amounts of money on horses to win only.
Mm.
And I don't know if he also included that they had to be 3-1 or better. That if they weren't 3-1 or better, it's a pass. It doesn't matter. You think some 6-5 shot's going to win? Don't be pounding $500 on this horse to win 600, because you're going to end up having to chase money
Mm.
with the number of those type of horses that go down. But if you're 3-1 or better and you're a good handicapper, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room there in case you go into somewhat of a slump. So, and look, you only have to hit 1 out of 4, and you've got your money back. Or I guess 1 out of 3. What am I doing? The math there. I'm doing Trumpster math here. But people are coming back to the conclusion. I don't know. Did this change anybody this football season in terms of your betting habits? Because
Well, this season sucked. I mean, it just, and the professor's being really hard on himself, and he's like,
about college football.
just in general, because I mean, I guess over the last few years, he started to bet NFL as well because it's a Sunday, like you guys talk about. You want some action,
Yeah.
so he would bet here and there, and I guess he did okay, not great, because the NFL was always harder to him than college because of the way he followed recruiting. It gave him a leg up in college that he didn't have on many in the pros, because people follow college enough that I guess it leveled it out. But he still would bet on the NFL. I mean, it's just last year wasn't easy. This year was stupid. Like the way with between the transfer portal and NIL for college, and then the NFL with the parity is just two teams that I don't know if they really belonged there. Were in the Super Bowl last night. Like the Patriots, to me, they had a great year. But if Stroud doesn't hate his team, the Patriots aren't there. If the NFC, to me, a lot of the teams that were supposed to be great, sort of like the Eagles, fell apart. Like again, the Seahawks were a great team all year. They won the Super Bowl, but like you had two random ass teams there. Like it's been a long time. We've been in a cycle very much like the 90s where you've had these dynastic ish teams, right? The Chiefs are there every year. The Bills are there every year. The Eagles are there every year. The Niners have been there every year the last year, right? Like we've had sort of 4 or 5 teams that are just hovering around it. That's not the NFL anymore. Like the parity is real. Like what we saw this year, the changing of the guard. How do you bet? How do you handicap that? Like it's every week was like what? Like it's just hard.
Right. I mean, a team that went back to back 4-13s and was in transition. They did make a lot of good choices when they signed all these.
They're a good team. I'm not trying to hate on the Patriots like that. Like they're a good team.
Yeah. I mean, were they a great team? They really didn't demonstrate that once they got to the postseason, as you said, Louis, and maybe it was the caliber of opposition.
Okay.
The fact that they were playing sub 500 teams most of the year, but no, and you just this happens, right? Where a guy and the professor actually was on this because everybody was anointing Drake Maye as the the greatest quarterback ever. They had him going to the Hall of Fame. And we hadn't seen him sort of run the gauntlet yet, where he was going to face one good team after another. And wow, you would have to say that he was decoded and defused,
Wasn't good.
confused during even when, like you said, Louis, when he had a chance, he had one guy wide open that popped free in his zone, and it wasn't like he just cleared any kind of traffic. The guy's literally standing there wide open. He missed him by a mile.
Yeah.
And that could have been a game-changing play because if you were a Patriots fan or were backing the Patriots with your own capital,
You were in it.
you kept thinking, my God, one fluke play, please.
Oh, like Miami versus Indiana. That was my Indiana dominated that game.
Yeah.
But Miami did what they did all year where they didn't let them get touchdowns. And that's why they always say you can't leave points off the board. So, like, you can dominate a game, but if you're only up by 2 scores, I know you don't like that phrase, but that's what it was.
What it was, yeah.
One return or one busted coverage, which happens even in the NFL, even in the Super Bowl. Like, now it's a game. I mean, it sort of almost happened, right? Like, they made it 3 scores and the Patriots scored easy. So for a second, you're like, okay, maybe they have something here. Now the Seahawks then went at the fumble or interception for a touchdown. So they're like, no, we're dominating this game. But like, the Patriots defense is good enough that they kept it close.
Kept
Drake Maye. Look, he was getting smothered. I feel bad saying that about the kid because he didn't really have a lot of room to breathe. But he also, like Darnold, had this very similar pressure on him, and he was able. And again, a young Darnold would have been very similar to Drake Maye. And Darnold wasn't good. He was good enough. He was able to avoid the pressure. Instead of getting sacked 6 times, he got sacked once. Drake Maye couldn't. Drake Maye saw the pressure, and he did the Brady. He just like swallowed up. And that was a difference really in the game because both defenses played really well. The Seahawks just didn't let the Patriots do anything.
They rattled Drake Maye far more than Darnold was.
Darnold has been
out of this game, and he wasn't great, like you said.
That's what we talked about last week. Darnold's been through everything. Yes. Like, Darnold's been through the ringer. So he looked so poised out there. He wasn't playing good, but he looked poised. It was like, all right, good for him.
He kept working it. I mean, he was working against a good defense. No doubt about it. People underestimated the defensive efforts of the New England Patriots all year long. I take nothing away from them. They're in the game. They qualified for the ball game. To sit there and go, oh, my God, can you believe it? It did appear from the way the two teams were going in the postseason, which we had 2 games of evidence to look at with the Seattle Seahawks, a thrashing of the San Francisco 49ers, who had exceeded anything that you could have anticipated for them during the course of the year. And it didn't seem like they were going to be that good of a team, and they were. And a shootout there with the Rams of sorts, where they ended up prevailing, and it wasn't easy, but they I think had acquitted themselves far better overall than the Patriots did in winning their 3 games. So no big surprise the outcome of the ball game, but it was kind of crazy. Drake Maye, if you looked at his numbers overall, the 2 TD, 2 picks would be a big red flag here, and so would 2 fumbles. But 27 out of 43, he ends up throwing for 295 yards in this ball game when it looked like they had no offense whatsoever. So stats can be very, very deceiving. Who had A.J. Barner for the first TD? Anybody? A.J. Barner, first touchdown in a ball game? That would have been a nice one. 3 quarters through the game, you had Seattle with 271 yards of offense and the Patriots with 78.
Yeah.
That isn't going to do it. All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with more. Still, we have the Olympics. Where do we go from here? I guess we can get into that a little bit. And some NBA activity. The Knicks now all excited. They acquired this Jose Alvarado, who is a native son, backup guy. And who was he with when they got him?
I don't know. The Knicks fans are excited. I don't even know who he is.
I've seen him. He provides a spark here and there, and he comes right in and ignites a Knick thrashing of the Boston Celtics. So he's already a hero.
The Heat, who are a total disaster, should have beaten the Celtics by 20 the night before. So, I mean, like, the Celtics.
In that game, very briefly, the Celtics were up 22 in the second quarter.
Yeah, the
Heat were up 22 in the second.
I mean, the Celtics are just playing above their head. The Celtics, if you look at their roster, it's horrendous. Like, Pritchard being their 3rd best player is a joke. Like, Brown is woken up and is playing the best ball of his life. Like, the Celtics aren't like this great team. I mean, the Knicks, I don't know. The East is just weird. Like, to me, the Pistons should blow everyone away. The problem is they're young. Like, if the Pistons weren't young, they'd have a 20-game lead in the East. Like, the East is so, like, that's why I'm mad at the Heat, because it's like, this is the time you're going to be bad. when the East is garbage. Like you should run through the East. Like it's so bad. Like the Knicks are fine, but they're not.
If Jason Tatum decides to come back a little
Oh
early,
yeah, the Celtics will be running on.
ruptured
Running away
Achilles,
with it.
everybody's hailing him as a hero, right?
Yeah.
This Lindsey Vonn thing, it kind of. I mean, I know that people are trying to make a case that she could have let somebody else be on the team. I'm not. I mean, it's almost like the Philadelphia fans cheering when Michael Irvin was hurt right there in the center of the field, and they're. I mean, how do you want to dance on this woman's grave, Louis, and be calling her out for being a selfish?
You don't.
It seems a little over the top, doesn't it? I mean, well, when you saw her being carried away with this helicopter, this is serious crap. She wasn't messing around because she didn't think that it was going to go well. I mean,
No, we knew that.
come on, man.
We knew she
You
would
can't
take
take a chance.
this.
That's not a sport for the faint of heart. You don't see a lot of Jewish guys from Brooklyn on the U.S. downhill ski team, do you?
It's for the insane. We said that every time. We've said any of the. Shirley finally, like last night before we're about to pass out, turns to me.
Look what they're doing. It's
And
crazy.
she's like, the Winter Olympics, and I guess on TikTok it popped up on her thing. She's like, the Winter Olympics, every sport or activity was made by a crazy person. I'm like, yes, Defo and I talk about that all the time.
Pretty much a man.
Who combines skiing with shooting things? Like, where does that?
Skiing with like trick stuff where they're doing it like they're on a skateboard and they're going downhill. Like it's not like this is the bunny slope, Louie.
Well, on the launching thing where they go down and launch themselves.
Ski jumping.
Just skiing around trees is a lot. It's very difficult. Like, why do you have to shoot yourself into the
Big air. I mean, how do you do that for the first time? Who has
You're insane.
to do that?
Something's mentally.
So I really, we need to trace the history of ski jumping before these 2 weeks are over and do something on the show about that. Because who was the first guy to say, "Hey, watch this"?
I presume he was drunk or high. I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Flying. I mean, like at an exorbitant amount of speed, even faster than the people in the downhill to get down his slope and then go on an uplifting ramp
and fly
like 200 meters.
Then you have to land. Beautifully, like it's a dismount as a gymnast.
I'm careful now when I step off a curb that's a little higher than normal on my walk of life. I'm thinking maybe I should go there where it flattens out a little bit more.
That's actually my favorite part is you'll watch it. I haven't seen it in years, but I used to, that would always be what I love is like you'd watch it and you go, oh my God, they survived. Thank God. My people would be hearing the announcers go, he was a little off. Those points. I'm like, he survived. I'm like, that should be your focus.
Plus, they're laying out prone to the ground while the skis are like serving. I mean, as basically sails in the wind. Get out of here, man. And think about this. It's not like they're doing this indoors where the conditions are ideal. There could be like a 50-mile-an-hour wind blowing.
It usually is. It's a snowy mountain.
Snow and fog. How do you even get up there?
Again,
kind of like the Acapulco Cliffs. How do you even get up there, Luganis? How'd you get up there?
I mean, the stuff they do is nuts. You have to be a crazy. It has to have been where the X Games started was the Winter Olympics because like every sport you're watching is like, wow, who thinks of that?
Doesn't look like it's any bargain if you crash. So I don't know. It's bizarre stuff. We're not very good at it in America, or I guess we don't have. I mean, it's not like we're going to school on skis like we do in Norway.
We only have a few places to get really cold, and even that really cold is not the same thing as Sweden. Yeah. They're not by the Arctic.
Cross-country skiing spooks me also when you see guys skiing uphill. That
well, I always like a slalom where they're like this, and there's a tree, and then there's a mountain, and then there's a bear. I'm like,
you're thinking Sonny Bono splattering himself.
Yes, that's all I think. I'm like, don't people die doing this?
1/10 of the speed that these people are performing at. Ice skating was good. This Ilya Malinin, man, the kid's great. I hope he wins the gold medal. He helped the U.S. team win the gold medal with a performance where he had a little slip, but he threw in like a half a dozen of these quadruple.
What is his quote? Where did that come from? Wasn't the triples all that like the biggest thing?
A double axle. Dick Button would get Woody just talking about. Oh my God! Here he comes! It's coming right now. The double axle followed by a double sow cow. Double. Make mine a double, man. They're doing it 4 times. It's
Why?
crazy. 4 spins in the air. Who the hell could do that? The kid's great, though. He seems to have, all the right things to say. Hard not to start rooting for him. I wasn't really into the skating, and then I saw this Malanin guy, and I thought, my God. And he didn't even get the highest score in one of the events I saw him in, outdone by a Japanese kid. And so, yeah, so that might be a little more compelling than I thought it was going to be, just to see this guy, see how much better he is than everybody else. All right, we're coming back with more in a moment. Our Olympic analysis pretty spot on here so far. Huh,
I haven't watched 1 minute of Olympics. I mean, I will this week because there's nothing else now. But like
Chris Goddard, man, talk about a name that has a sexual double entendre. Chris Goddard. This guy's getting really good. He won the waste management tournament on the golf course.
There you go.
So that was going on. Scotty Scheffler was nowhere to be seen. Search warrant for Scotty Scheffler. He made a move in the second round and made like his 300th consecutive cut. He's got a ridiculous streak going. It's not that high. I'm exaggerating to make a point, but the guy never misses a cut. He was in jeopardy of doing so till he shoots 7 under on Saturday. And you're thinking, man, if this guy comes back and wins this thing, but I believe he was nowhere to be seen at the finish. And playoff, they went to a playoff hole. I saw some handicapper actually point out Hideki Matsuyama at some ridiculous price to win this thing. And he ended up in a playoff, man. Imagine that.
Jesus.
How painful was that when his drive was shanked into the water on the drivable par 4, I think, that they were playing. And all of a sudden, you have a 60-1 shot. And whoosh, hasta la vista, baby. Many ways. There's 50 ways to lose your money. That was ridiculous. Anybody have any money left after the Super Bowl? There are always trends too, right? I mean, these trends. Oh, the 4.5-point favorites, like 2-12 against the spread in the last 30 Super Bowls, where this was the case. A lot of that stuff went out the window there with the Patriots' poor performance in Super Bowl 60. All right, we're coming back with more in a moment. Now that
the time
8:47.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe Bees.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
You can't fake caring. Women can sense this immediately. You don't really care. You didn't really want to do any of this.
We now return to the Defo Show.
Every day on tap later on this week, right? Valentine's Day, Lubie. I know you've got it covered, which is good because you are a hopeless romantic when it comes to this sort of thing, and you also realize what your obligations are.
Yeah, yes, that's very true.
I'd like to keep the peace. I mean, you're all about peace. You should get the Nobel Peace Prize.
People can call me whipped. It's a choice I've made. I've chosen to be whipped.
You're happily whipped.
I like quiet. I like quiet.
Exactly. Is
Sorry.
it better than regular? It's easier to spread. We know that. Okay. I'm looking at, and this is an article by a guy, Vincent Bonsignor.
Okay.
So I don't know as a New York Post writer, so this might be some network thing that was out there, or a wire copy type of thing.
Yeah.
And he's asking one of the big questions of the upcoming NFL season now that this one's been concluded.
We haven't even had a draft yet, or free agency.
The number one question, okay, maybe he is on the New York Post staff because his number one question is, can Harbaugh turn the Giants around?
That's number one. It might be a top 5 though. Giants were, people forget, and it wasn't that long ago, were a preeminent franchise from the 80s to the 2000 to 2020. I mean, it's been like 5 years, but before that, no matter what happened, the Giants found a way to be interesting. Like they were for like 4 decades. Like, so yes, that might be, and they're the biggest market. So maybe top 5 or 6. I don't know. To me, it's Chiefs. Like, what the hell happened to the Chiefs? What are the Chiefs going to be?
That was his third question.
Chiefs and Eagles. I mean, they were the pretty much the top franchises in both conference. And the Eagles, everyone hates their coach, even though he's been to 2 Super Bowls and won 1. And the Chiefs, everyone's writing their epithet. And it's like, I can't go that far, but I can't say they're wrong. Like Brady never missed playoffs, at least. Like if you're the greatest, you at least, a great quarterback can at least make the playoffs. I don't know what you're going to do, but you should at least make, like Marino made the playoffs. Like I don't know. It probably hurt the Dolphins because they kept lying to themselves that we have Marino. We can give him Scott, blah, blah, and he'll still make the playoffs. Like he literally had Mark Higgs. I think for multiple years, Mark Higgs was his running back. Like,
Higgy, 1,000-yard rusher. Don't
I like Higgs. He's a great man. But if you met Mark Higgs, like he shouldn't have been in the NFL as a starting running back. Like
it isn't like you're throwing a ball, tossing it to Marshawn Lynch.
He was good, but I mean, so like them not making the playoffs is an indictment on them, you know. Like, so to me, that's the question, because they were the team that were supposed to be the next Patriots. They sort of were, and now did it just end? Like, that's weird. Like, what do they do? Like, if we're doing questions now before a draft, which changes teams, and free agency, which changes teams. That's the one, that and the Eagles. Like, to me, like, what happened to the Eagles and the Chiefs?
I bring this up for a reason. Now, the first few, he asked about the Chiefs. Fernando Mania would be another one.
I mean, the Raiders are going to be
how's this guy, Mendoza? Is he going to be above the line there as a Raider quarterback? Thinks, are the Rams bound for a Super Bowl? What are the Colts going to pay Daniel Jones? But number 8, question 8, what happens with Tua?
That actually should be top 5 just because they've talked so much about Tua for so many years.
Yes. So what's the deal there, really? I mean, what do you think happens?
I think he gets traded. I think the Rams, people brought up the Rams, and people love hating on Tua.
Yes.
Before the last year and a half, if you look at his stats, he was a top 6 quarterback. He led the league in touchdowns, I think, multiple times. He led the league in passing yards multiple times. He led the league in QB rating even this year. I think his QB rating in his career, I think, is like a record. And we know QB rating's stupid, but the good quarterbacks have good QB ratings, so it's something. Like, Tua is done to us. But if you put him with a more experienced coach with real talent, not too, I don't want to say midgets. I'm with you. I'm saying midgets. 2 smallish guys that do the same exact thing with no big receivers.
You should be able to get away with calling midget wrestling.
Well, it was.
Well, it wasn't even challenged from a political. And I'm a fan of, if you're insulting any person, especially somebody that I don't know, what would you call it?
Small person is what you're supposed to, or little people. I don't know why that's better, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, when Skylar Lowe was introduced, I mean, there was whoever was announcing the matches back then on the Vince McMahon telecast. They're going, okay, we got midgets going next. And you're like, what is
it? Just sounds wrong. But I mean, if you give Tua Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, a real offensive line, a real running game, a Super Bowl winning coach, you don't think Tua can put up numbers? Like, I mean,
look what happened with Darnold. I mean, he drifted around for a little while.
With a real defense that he doesn't have to stress out on the sidelines the whole time. Yeah. Like, to me, and if you're the Rams, look, he's aged really well, Stafford. I give him credit. He's actually playing maybe the best ball of his career. Like, he's
coming back one more time, baby.
So he'll be back because he doesn't want to go out like that, but he's not going to play tons of years. So wouldn't that be perfect? Give Tua 1 year to get used to the system. 1 year.
It's a good scenario there. Okay.
After next year, the contract is done. Like, you can then give him whatever contract you want. So you eat 1 year. Like, how many times do teams eat one bad year? Like, I don't know. That seems I would make that a top 6-ish questions because the Dolphins suck. But they talk so much about Tua that now that he's probably going somewhere, that should actually be a topic.
No doubt. You would think. And is there a chance that he can resurrect what looked like it was going to be a somewhat promising career? in the same fashion that Sam Darnold, now a Super Bowl champion, he's done something that not even the great Dan Marino could do. I hate to do. I'm sorry, Danny. I didn't mean to do that.
That's true.
Bring up the no ring thing. Because it clearly is not always an accurate barometer, although if you have a few, it doesn't hurt the argument any about whether or not you're better than so-and-so.
Pretty much.
I mean, look, was Eli Manning really that great of a quarterback? I just remember him being somewhat inconsistent, no? Eli Manning, he wasn't Peyton. That shouldn't hurt his stature as a potential Hall of Famer, but the fact that he won the 2 Super Bowls is the only thing that puts him at least under reasonable consideration. And so why isn't Chuck Nevitt a Hall of Famer? How many rings does Nevitt have? We'll have to actually verify that. I think Chuck Nevitt, I mean, a splinter of a man who was about as ineffective an NBA player as you'll ever see. I don't know if that's a fair statement because he was in the league forever, but it was because he was 7'5" or whatever he was. And he just happened to land as the 12th man on a bunch of dynastic championship teams, right? Wasn't he with the Spurs and the Bulls? Chuck Nevitt collecting rings?
Yes,
I think Robert Ory.
I don't know the Spurs, but Nevitt was with teams where he collected rings. At least Ory, in a similar role, at least had an imprint on the game. Man. Like he would make a big spot, play defense a little. Like
he was responsible for at least a portion of some of those championships. It
wasn't just a dude at the edge of the bench. Like he was like the first guy off the bench. He was starting like the Rocket teams when he was young.
Yeah.
Like he started. Like he at least was involved. Nevitt was just there.
People always used to do this when they were calling into radio shows, talking about and the general opinion of the local starting quarterback had turned sour or negative. And they would say, well, you know what? You'll never win they do this about other ball players. You'll never win a championship with that guy. There were campaigns talking about that. Your man, Dan Lebatard, for a long time was always claiming that he had something about Vince Carter. And I remember him proclaiming many times, hey, you'll never win a championship with Vince Carter, which turned out he was right.
Yeah, he never did.
As you're sitting there seething when you're listening to some guy on the radio say something that you think is absolutely preposterous because it has nothing to do with whether or not the guy is a great player or not.
Yeah.
But can you really say that without qualification, Lubie? I mean, to denounce Marino or an Ernie Banks and say that they're not great players is absurd. Charles Barkley was a great player.
Barkley, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No championships. So I don't know. I mean, there are too many exceptions to that argument to consider it to be 100% valid. That's for sure. But anyway, Darnold gets one. Can Tua do the same thing? Because what I was going to say is that was one of those ones where I don't know that you would argue back when like Manny from Miramar called in and said, hey, Defo, you think you could ever win a championship with Tua as your starting quarterback? I'll hang up and listen. And you said, I don't know.
No.
I would probably say no.
No, he's been injury prone and then just bad. I mean, he made a lot of really bad throws the last year and a half. I'm not fighting that. He's done in Miami. He's been a disappointment, 100%. I also think if he's with the right team, he's going to be really good. Again, he led the league in passing three or 4 years. Like, again, you'll see a Rich Gannon do a year. Like, guys will come out of nowhere and have a weird year. Like, we've seen that. Fine. Case Keenum. But 3 or 4? No. Like, you lead the league in passing 3 or 4 years. You're a good quarterback. You're just in a horrendous situation. So I think if he gets on again, if he doesn't, if teams treat him like the Dolphins have and fans, then maybe you never hear his name. Maybe he is a backup. I don't know. If he there's something about the Rams to me, like, and I keep hearing the Rams. If he can get on the Rams, I feel like Tua has a resurgence, and people go, "Oh, see, we knew he could be this." Those Dolphins are like the Jets adjacent. They just ruin quarterbacks. Like,
they've done a good job of doing that. Yeah.
Sort of.
Even Ryan Tannehill was good for a little while after he left the Dolphins organization, while he had the quarterback guru whispering in his ear every day, going, "You can do it, Ryan. You can do it." All right, we're going to get out of here. Where do we turn our attention, Lubie? After I mean, you can't. We could football all the time. It's year round, no doubt about it. And certainly, if you were spending a few more days in the aftermath of the conclusion of this season, it wouldn't be inappropriate. But and there are issues on the horizon, as evidenced by this article, already talking about big questions for 2026. But what are you gonna zero in on, Lubie, for your sporting activity here in South Florida? Miami Heat.
Heat. I'll focus on the Heat because
Yeah.
if they can keep playing the young guys, which is what we've wanted for a long time, and again, Casper Hakatronis played really well yesterday. Where the guy that Spo hates, he finally had to give him minutes, and he played out of his mind yesterday. Bam played really what people like me have said, give Bam a real center and let him be the power forward he is. They were plus 47 or something. They went on they were up like 40 points with the two of them playing together. Like if you can lean into that and let some of these older guys just be there, it'll be fun to watch. It gives you at least something to watch with the Heat, because otherwise they're just this middling playing team. And then college basketball. There's enough top tier young talent this year that maybe a guy like me who used to love college basketball can get brought back in.
Some good games, matchups over this past weekend. They had a lot of compelling matchups in addition to, and I ended up watching a good portion of that game because always fascinated by the antics on the sidelines of both Danny Hurley and Rick Pitino. And it was Madison Square Garden. It was UConn St. John's. It was, the Big East has, 3 teams maybe that are representative, and then everything else. And UConn comes in there ranked 3rd in the country with, I think, a 22 or 23-1 record. It might have been 21-1, but it was in that neighborhood. They went back and forth for a while before I think St. John's closed on an 8-0 run. Ejiofor, you know what's funny about the game, though, that still stands out to me? Gus Johnson was doing the game. And, is he the most bizarre play-by-play guy that is on the scene? He was calling a basketball game very much like he used to call those boxing matches when he would just go, Jones, Smith, Jones, Smith. You're like, Gus, what the hell is going on here?
What is actually
Do you
happening?
have any descriptive language that you would care to infuse into this broadcast that lets us have some idea for the uninitiated what the hell you're seeing there at ringside that we're not seeing on the TV? But yeah, the basketball was the same thing. He just would rattle off names as they touched the ball. And I don't know, like a high level of screaming the entire ball game, which in this case had to be revved up a little bit. It's always good to have great crowd noise if you're calling any kind of sporting event live, and it helps infuse some energy into your own call and the way that you're giving the descriptions of the game. But for Gus, he doesn't need any of that. I don't know. Did you ever hear Gus Johnson calling it a college basketball game?
Yes. And that's the funny thing is I grew up liking Gus Johnson, but he's leaned into the yelling thing so much that it's just tough to listen to him. Not every play is exciting. And that, because if it was, then nothing would be exciting. If everything's quote unquote exciting, then they're all the same thing. So it's actually mundane. The idea of exciting is it's different than the other moments. You can't call every moment the same. And he does. For the most part, he really does. And it just gets tough to listen to. Again, I liked Gus Johnson, but it gets really tough to listen to him because he does that with everything he calls. I've heard him call different sports and be like, dude,
it's the same thing. Yeah. And the networks are applauding this.
Yeah.
I don't know. You really were wondering what the hell is going on out there, Gus. Look, the guy's highly and wildly successful. There I am with Wiley again, but it just seemed odd. I hadn't heard a basketball game called that way. It wasn't exactly like you were listening to Marv on the radio there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Who can knock it, right? Bad Bunny, good or bad, Lubie? You say good, I say good.
It's not the best top 3 halftime show ever. But again, I like his music. Music is subjective. It's okay. It's okay to not like it.
Yeah,
I just don't like the anger, the vitriol. I'm not watching this. I'm going to go watch a pedophile. Okay. That's weird.
Well, and the weirdest part about the whole Trump Bad Bunny thing was that Trump was watching this, obviously, because
he didn't even watch the Kid Rock thing.
Like he was Siskel and Ebert. Yeah,
everyone's like
good buddies singing his heart out on this whatever network they were on. What were they on?
It was on the Turning Point YouTube. That's the only place that
Turning Point YouTube.
Yeah, they got 5 million people to Bad Bunny's 130. And then Trump lambasted it. I'm like, dude. Then you're admitting you too weren't watching the crap.
Right. If you really had this much, acrimony about the whole concept, Why'd you turn it on, man? Like I said, go outside, smoke a joint, do something.
Exactly.
How do people get up, in such a snit over something so stupid? It's amazing to me. All right. We're going to get out of here. We'll do it again tomorrow. Well, we're going to try and fish around and figure out what direction we're going in here on the program because football
Olympics.
is very compelling. I'm enjoying some of this Olympic stuff. And naturally, you don't understand who the hell. The curling thing is always going to be made fun of and mocked. But what the hell is that doing as a sport? It's weird too. And I always said that the worst thing that you could do to a relationship is play with whoever you happen to be with, mixed doubles tennis. But I believe curling has probably led to more divorces. Screaming is worse than like watching an Arena Sabalenka match. It's incredible. If you didn't, if you were like sleeping, not facing the television somehow,
It's your wife yelling.
and you woke up to this, you're thinking, my God, not another day like this. Not another day in television.
You're like, I want a divorce. Leave me alone. You're having flashbacks.
But as I said, I did receive a little bit of a response there on social media. You would only pray that you would get your house cleaning service on the phone and they would say, hey, good news. We're sending 2 members of the Estonian curling team over to your house. Yes, they were just in the women's doubles. But, I mean, does the sweeping really do anything? What the hell could it possibly do? Is there that much ice shaving on there that I know they're trying to steer this thing, whatever they call it. What do they call it? Do they call it the rock?
I think it's a pebble or rock, some stupid name.
The rock. Well, the rock would be appropriate, man. I mean, it looks like a solid block of granite there. And then they do this little twist right at the end with the handle. Send this thing flying. But what does the sweeping really do? What does it accomplish, Lubie? I know, understandably, it has to be some kind of steering mechanism controlling the speed of the thing. But is it really working? That's the question.
It's literally called a stone or a rock.
Okay.
It's supposed to heat up the ice so that it leads the stone or rock that way. I remember like when I don't know if it was new, but like, what was it, 10, 15, 20, whatever it was years ago where everyone like had to watch it because they couldn't understand why it was in the Olympics.
What's going on?
I wasn't one of those people. I've never been able to watch more than 5 minutes of curling. I'm like, I could watch my wife or myself or the house cleaners clean my house if I want to watch someone sweep.
I would like to see these house cleaners. They do a decent job, but could they not scrub with the same enthusiasm and amount of pressure and speed that these curling people? An amazing job there. I mean, you would think that. What do you get if you're like getting endorsements? Do you get endorsements for a mop? If you're a big star in curling, I don't know. Let's hope the Americans do well. I don't see a lot of curling facilities here. Right where? Minneapolis. So, what's going on there is unfortunately, overshadowing anything that could be going on a sporting version of some kind of competition on ice. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for being with us. I hope you guys cashed your Super Bowl bets and have digested your Super Bowl food. Still have some leftovers from the party yesterday, which I don't even know what I ate. That's how far gone I was. All right, we'll see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:08.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they